Floyd Mayweather is almost a hero of mine. So I'm super glad when I saw his interview about Trump, he agreed and said some sensibilities, because I liked him before that, and I would have hated to have changed my opinion on the guy. But he's a self-made man. He's a self-made man who's come from absolutely nothing to be one of the richest people in the world. Thank you to America. Thank you to everything America's been built on. Thank you to American values. Thank you to his skill and talent alone. He's absolutely lived the American dream, and he's smart enough to respect the country and respect the leader of the country that's allowed him to do so.
You know, you can say that the chant USA is mindless until you understand what they're trying to replace it with. Venezuela, North Korea, globalism, a bunch of socialism. That's what George Soros and others want, because they're multinationals. They're exempt from it. They want to exploit your countries. And they want to create this butt-hurt mentality where you go to school, you go to college to get a chip on your shoulder and be taught about how horrible your country is, but not about all the other horrible stuff about other nations. Because if you studied other nations, 9 times out of 10, they've got worse histories than we do, and they never have as illustrious a history as we do, except maybe Rome. Wasn't even Italy then. It was the Roman Empire, maybe the British Empire. But you look at the United States, trailblazing so much freedom, so much innovation. The apple of the world's eye, the land of the free. Hell, they still got slavery in many areas of the Middle East and Africa, but you never hear about it. Or this latest Islamic guy that went and shot 8, 9 people, killed one. A lady had a gun, a man had a gun. One of the ushers had a gun. They were able to shoot him and stop him. Another Islamicist. But you won't even learn the names of the victims there. Because it was a black guy shooting white people who said he was a black nationalist and a Muslim, and then he wanted to go kill some white Christians. Will whites take a knee at the NFL and blame all black people for this? Absolutely not. It's amazing. Look at these headlines. Trump calls for NFL boycott. Praises fans who booed players. Feud with athletes escalates. Has nothing to do with race. Goodell ignored league's own rules. Sponsors stay quiet. Brady, just divisive. 200-plus players take knee. 23. It goes on. Gear burned. That's our story on drudgereport.com. Protests spread to arts world as threats and theaters take on Trump. Wall Street Journal, the politicization of everything. Limbaugh, thrill of NFL's gone. Yes, they politicized the NFL with the whole concussion thing with the Justice Department 6 years ago. They rolled over. The NFL also had all the corruption of fixing games and paying bounties. The Justice Department came in, the NFL and their owners rolled because they were all threatened with jail time. So the Obama globalist Clinton mafia, this is the big secret, came in and took over the NFL. And now they're not allowed to hit as hard. And now they got to have anti-gun messages and anti-family messages. And now they can't be patriotic. And the owners have all gotten in line, scared. And there's Trump taking it on head on. That's the big secret to all of this. So, no, this is hype to bring the country down. Now, I wanted to get this guy on weeks ago just about the SJWs and people criticizing him for saying that most so-called depression is fake and that you need to go out, exercise, get outside. 50 years ago, doctors told you, 20 years ago, go out, get some sun, go out for a jog, go do something, stop watching TV all day. When he said that, he got millions of Twitter folks attacking him, millions. It was a big news story. And I wanted to get him on because I saw him with Paul Watson, just incredibly smart, eloquent guy, so I kind of jumped in during that 4th hour. And so we've got him with us the next 30, 40 minutes or so. Then I'm going to open the phones up and get to all this other news. But what a time to be alive when our nuclear bombers just did attack dry runs over the weekend on the DMZ of simulating nuclear attacks on the DMZ. Because they've got 1 million troops on the DMZ threatening to invade South Korea. So if the war kicks off, you've got to neutralize them in minutes. We can't win a conventional war short time with North Korea. They got a 2 million man brainwashed army, 1 million of them on the border right now, whacked out of their brains, brainwashed. Kim Jong-un over the weekend and his top ambassador said an attack on America is imminent with a hydrogen bomb. We are cocked and ready. We're going to attack you. So this is an incredible time to be alive. And joining us here, ladies and gentlemen, is Andrew Tate. Tate, and then it's SHINKAI.net. That's Andrew Tate, and he's at Cobra Tate as well. He's an American-British kickboxer from Chicago, Illinois, who competes in the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions. He is 3 times ISKA kickboxing world champion and Infusion Live champion. He's a son of the late chess master Emery Tate, and also a commentator on Real Extreme Fighting and largest MMA promotion in Romania. In 2016, Tate competed in the 17th season, a British version of Dutch reality show Big Brother as well. And again, we appreciate him joining us to cover the waterfront. And I don't know his views on this, but we're about to find out. What do you think of this NFL thing? What do you think of, like, just everything's politicized? Everyone's piling on. They're now saying the American flag needs to be banned. It's white supremacists. I mean, we knew that was coming next. This is really, to me, the NFL protesting America and the American flag. And it's not like they're in North Korea. They're in one of the richest countries in the world. It's an American sport, and they're pissing all over themselves. What do you think?
This is absolute garbage. I think to see these privileged millionaires, overpaid sports stars, to sit and complain about oppression is probably one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in modern time, and that's the absolute truth. These people need to travel the world and go to some of the places I've been and see how most people are forced to live their lives under the dictatorships of some countries. And then they will have absolute respect for the country they're born in. They're getting overpaid to play a game when there's people out here struggling to pay the bills. And I think it's no coincidence that it's all these sports stars and music stars and all these overpaid leftists that are going to be constantly complaining about issues that they shouldn't be complaining about because they live such spoiled, entitled lives. They need to stand up, and they need to show respect to the country they live in, the country that gave them opportunity to become a millionaire playing a sport they love. And Trump is absolutely correct in what he said. If you're not going to show respect to this country, you should not be playing football in America anywhere. I completely agree with him.
Why do you think this has been going on for 3-4 years now, and it's growing, and it's killing the sport, and then still they don't care, and the owners don't care? From what I've heard, they're bullied by the players. It's just the players are a bunch of crybabies who want to be celebrities and want to be cool, and they think this is the cool thing to do.
That's absolutely correct. Disliking Trump is the easiest popularity move in the world. Every single one of these celebrities, it doesn't matter who they are, every rap star, every sports star, as soon as they get a chance to have a shot at Trump, they do it because they believe it's an easy shot towards a quick gain in popularity amongst morons. That's the truth. They say, if I stand up there and I say Trump's a bad person, everyone's going to cheer and everyone's going to like me. And they're so pathetic in their internalization. They can't sit and have a genuine opinion for themselves. They think, no, liking Trump is a bad thing and disliking Trump is how you become popular in this sphere. So I'm just going to sit there, and anything Trump says is bad, and I'm going to do anything it takes to defy him to try and make it look like I'm a good person. Because everything they say Trump stands for, racism, et cetera, he doesn't stand for. Trump has done, no one mentioned the fact that Trump was a racist prior to him being president. It was never, ever said. Then he becomes president, and now he's a racist, and he causes hurricanes.
Why is Floyd Mayweather different? Because it's like the vast majority of these athletes, white, black, it doesn't matter, just think it's fun to virtue signal. But then when Trump or somebody else stands up and says, no, you're wrong, oh, then he's the worst guy in the world. That's another thing. We're not supposed to have our speech. They cancel people's free speech at all these universities. And you know, it's because they know conservatives and libertarians are busy working and aren't little babies. They know we don't boycott them. They know that we're used to having people attack us. And I think it's now time for folks to start boycotting and let them have their own medicine, and that is happening.
You're absolutely correct. And it's actually, you know, Floyd Mayweather's almost a hero of mine. So I'm super glad when I saw his interview about Trump, he agreed and said some sensibilities, because I liked him before that, and I would have hated to have changed my opinion on the guy. But he's a self-made man. He's a self-made man who's come from absolutely nothing to be one of the richest people in the world. Thank you to America. Thank you to everything America's been built on. Thank you to American values. Thank you to his skill and talent alone. He's absolutely lived the American dream, and he's smart enough to respect the country and respect the leader of the country that's allowed him to do so. These other people are still living the American dream, and they're upset about something. I really would absolutely love for all of these NFL players to drop the NFL crap, go get a real job, Go work a real job for a good 6 months and see if you still dislike Trump when he's out here trying to create jobs for the everyday American. And I guarantee they'll change their opinion. They're entitled brats. It's just like when you have a child and you give them too much too early. This is exactly the reason these people are doing this. And they think that by taking up a stand against Trump, who in the media's eyes is the devil regardless, is a good popularity move. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
About the one Army Ranger, Hispanic American, Alejandro Villanueva, who marched out there and held his hand over his chest during it, the only Steeler not to, and now the coach is bad-mouthing him, saying he was bad, he should have stood with his team. No, he's the only one that had any courage to buck the brainwashing. And they're actually talking about maybe he's going to get in trouble.
Stand with your team, why? For unity? Well, if it's for unity, what about unity to your country? What about Americans as a whole? If you want to talk about unity, every single American should be unified underneath the flag and unified underneath the national anthem. I'm an American myself. And the flag is not just a joke symbol. The first thing that happens in the Middle East when they're anti-American is they burn this flag. Like, this is a big deal. The flag, especially in relation to America, more than almost any other country, it's the most recognizable flag in the world, along with the national anthem. And this man's been sensible enough and lived a varied enough life. I believe he's a veteran himself. He's been there.
Army Ranger.
He's done it. Yeah, exactly. So he's intelligent enough to understand how important the flag is. And these entitled brats kneeling for
and you know they're persecuting him. A lot of courage. Stay there. We'll be right back. Powerful. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're here live. And I tell you, somebody who I'd love to get on my broadcast, Paul Watson's, David Knight's, The War Room, is Andrew Tate. Not just on this subject. I mean, on so many subjects, because now I've gone and actually watched some of his other interviews with other folks. He's really a smart guy. And he's also a multi-time world champion kickboxer. So you can find out more about him at Tate, SHINKAI.net. And you can also find him on Twitter, Facebook, you name it, at Cobra Tate. The reason I'm obsessing on this, we got a longer segment coming up here in a moment. This is a short, just 6-minute segment, is I used to kind of, just get sick of all the flag stuff. I love America. It's great. But I thought, America's the Bill of Rights Constitution, and people that fought for the country and people that have worked hard and have been good folks, the flag itself, I didn't worship it. But at the same time, when it's under attack, that means the country is, and it's by a bunch of babies that don't even, they want to stay here and get rich in the country while a bunch of poor people go pay to watch them play, and then they're saying all the whites are racist when most of their fans are white. And it's sick, it's crazy, it's bizarre, it's upside down. And then the NFL's doubling down, saying we stand in solidarity with our players, even as their ratings plunge. Why are they doing this, even though it financially hurts them? What is the point?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's crazy. And this is off the tangent as well, but these guys don't realize how much damage they do, not only to the NFL, but also to the credibility of America as a whole. America has a lot of enemies. We're all aware of that. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. I was in China fighting, and when I was in China, they kept me in this hotel, almost locked off from the real world. And I was watching Chinese news, and Chinese news is just a long series of everything bad that's happened in the West. And they just talk about it. Like every protest, every terrorist attack, and they just talk about it. I didn't understand the Chinese, but it was basically, look what's happening over there. Aren't you glad you're here? And it shows that there's a lot of other countries that look to America. And when they see these people who are millionaires, like you said, because of the American system, with white fans sitting there disrespecting their entire country, this has repercussions all around the world. This damages the credibility of America as a whole. And these people have completely benefited from the American system. It's the biggest slap in the face I've ever seen.
It'd be like if I was black and most of my customers at a restaurant were white, and then I came and took a knee and said, I'm not going to sell you food because you're evil and you're white. And they're the white people. They're eating your food, paying you money. It's stupid.
It's stupid. That's exactly the word. It's stupid. These people have nothing to complain about. They do not live lives worthy of complaint. There's not a single person on earth who wouldn't sign up to their kind of paycheck to play a game. And only in America are you going to make that kind of money to play a game. You can't pull that off in many countries in the world. You can't disrespect the flag in many countries in the world.
I was about to say, you can say what you want about Latin America or Asia or places. You do that to somebody's flag over there, they'll kill you. I mean, if you did that to the Mexican anthem or in Mexico, they would beat the hell out of you, guaranteed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And these people are patriotic to their country, and they don't even have the same benefits systematically.
But at least they get it's their country, and other people have been trying to take it over. At least there's a culture.
Yeah. And America's falling apart now. And this will be the end of America when they divide people over these tiny crybaby issues. And liberals and lefts allow themselves to be influenced to this level. They allow some music star or some football player who has very little understanding of the real world. They allow them to just sit there and complain and cry, and a couple of their stupid fans buy into it, and they're just dividing the world. They're dividing the country along smart and stupid. And this is going to be the end of it all. When you have this large percentage of the population who are so easily triggered and upset over nothing. It's absolute insanity. It really is. It's crazy.
You're right. And if you look at the WikiLeaks, it's the big elite saying, we're losing, the public's coming together, they're going to want nationalism and free market. We don't want that. Let's have culture war. They say, let's go to culture war, and they're doing it. The Hollywood's the elite. The NFL's the elite, and they're all backing this to try to turn us against each other so the globalists can conquer America. That's what this is really about.
Completely agree with you. There's not a single thing on earth that happens, in my view, without financial backing or a financial gain somewhere or a power grab. This is a power grab like everything else, you know? And there's people who are in charge of this who know exactly what they're doing, and this is absolutely a power grab.
Andrew Tate, is it going to work? Is it going to work, Andrew?
I'd like to think that there's enough good Americans out there who understand that disrespecting the anthem and disrespecting the flag is unacceptable. I like to believe that that's the case. I think maybe you have some young, impressionable idiots who want to buy into, you know, well, my hero said this, so I'm going to, but most adults with a brain should know better than to buy into this crap. Most adults know these are privileged crybabies.
World champion kickboxer Andrew Tate, stay there. I want to come back and ask you then, what should we do? I mean, what should we do to really send a message? I know the boycott's exploding. Their ratings are plunging. What should we do? Then I want to get back into depression and a few other big issues with you. Then phone calls coming up after he leaves us. I'm Alex Jones. This is the InfoWars. Spread the word.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.